The careers: alchemist and assassin, alchemist, or artificer, the scientists and inventors of Lemuria. These characters need to be illiterate. Alchemists are often mistaken for wizards by those who do not understand science. Skills covered are things like making potions and perfumes, plant lore, poisons, medicines, metallurgy, distilling uranium, lighter than air metal, for flying boats, etc. This is not a terribly common career for adventuring heroes, as it requires too much patience. Mind is normally the most important attribute for an alchemist. For each rank above 2 in this career, the character must take a floor. See Chapter 5, Origins. There are very few circumstances where having ranks as an alchemist would help a character in combat. Assassin, or slayer. These covert killers are adept at sneak attacks, killing generally, information gathering, city lore, persuasion, using poisons and gaining access to buildings. They tend to have fast reflexes and cool nerves. The best assassins are from Halak. Most of the attributes are important for assassin characters. In combat, an assassin might gain a brief advantage in a surprise attack, such as when he strikes out of the shadows, or when he is attacking by surprise using a concealed blade. The careers: barbarian and beggar, barbarian, or savage. These characters are not from the cities of Lemuria, but from the Valgardian Northlands, the Besha deserts or other wildernesses of the continent. They have natural skills in wilderness lore, living rough, berserk rage, beast riding, intimidation, natural instincts, and so on. Barbarians are generally noted for their strength, but a good agility is also useful. In combat, barbarians are generally brutal and unrefined. This might come as a surprise to city folks, and a barbarian character might gain a brief advantage where the fight is hard and dirty. Beggar, or vagabond. Characters that have fallen on hard times can sell themselves into slavery, turn to thievery, or beg for a few coins to pay for their supper. This career isn't a choice for most adventurers. Nevertheless, you can pick up some skills by living on the street in this way. Things like city lore, going unnoticed, appraisal, gossip, and so forth. There are no particular attributes that beggars are noted for, although it helps to have a deformity, missing body part, or an unsocial disease. A beggar is not normally a combatant, and therefore the only times having this career would be helpful in a fight is when the character is doing his best not to be noticed. Blacksmith and dancer. Blacksmith, or metalsmith, often found helping alchemists build their inventions. These characters are skilled at weapon and armor making and repair, metallurgy, weapon lore, and have skill in bartering and haggling the price of weapons and armor. Dancer, or tumbler, exotic female entertainers. These ladies are always young, nubile, graceful, and energetic. The types of skills that a dancer might have are tumbling and acrobatics, escaping from bonds, and seductiveness. Some extend their skills to a few sleight of hand and juggling tricks, using veils to barely conceal their nakedness. Blacksmiths are generally noted for their strength and their toughness. Being able to work hard at their forge tends to develop their muscles and hardiness. Although not a combatant, a blacksmith might receive a melee bonus if he is using a weapon he forged himself, or if his opponent is wearing metallic armor and he knows its weak points. Dancers rely mostly on their appeal and their agility. In combat, a dancer might gain an advantage if her opponent is too busy examining her charms. However, dancing is not really a combat career, and would rarely be of use against a skilled fighting man. Farmer and gladiator. Farmer, or peasant. A farmer character lives outside the city, but often within half a day's travel, so that they are able to get their produce to the city to feed the populace. They are skilled in basic plant and animal law, animal handling, cooking, baking and brewing, trading for basic goods and such like. Farmers do not rely on any one attribute over any other, although appeal is probably the least important. Farmers are not generally skilled combatants and so rarely receive any advantage from this career, except maybe when defending their own lands against raiders and so on. Gladiator, or champion, often forced into life of professional arena fighters. The gladiator is skilled in one-on-one tactics, exotic weapons, weapon lore, initiative and weapon training. Skilled gladiators are often well known outside the arena, which can be to their advantage. Gladiators should be strong and agile, but the most popular ones also have plenty of appeal. They are especially good at fighting in a style that is designed to please the crowd, and so they might get a combat bonus on certain flashy moves, if not overused and, as usual, at the GM's discretion. Hunter and magician. Hunter, or tracker. Hunters are rugged outdoor types skilled in wilderness lore, living rough, trapping, tracking, stealth and other similar wilderness pursuits. Agility is important to a hunter, as are strength and mind to a slightly lesser degree. In combat, a hunter may receive a career bonus if fighting a creature of a type he is familiar with, but the career is rarely useful against human opponents. Magician, or sorcerer, often a little strange. These characters are knowledgeable of esoteric matters to do with astrology, astronomy and ancient lore. They also have skill in sorcery, which is detailed in a later chapter. Magicians steeped in the lore of the void are from Zealot, although there are magicians in just about every city of Lemuria. They are outlawed in the city of Tyrus. Magicians need powerful minds both for their studies and for the will to create and cast mighty spells. Sorcery is a fast track to power, but it also brings its own price. For each rank taken as a magician beyond the first, you must check one floor. See Chapter 5, Origins. There are not many circumstances where being a magician helps in a fight. Mariner and merchant. Mariner, or seaman. Mariners are sea adventurers, skilled in sea lore, navigation by stars, and boat handling with a good knowledge of local ports and nearby coastlines and islands. Skilled mariners are always in demand, and so they will rarely be refused working passage on boat or galley. Mariners need to be strong, and some agility is useful too. Mariners may receive a combat bonus in actions at sea, and possibly even against sea creatures that they might have some familiarity with. Merchant, or trader. Merchants are not shopkeepers, they are wide-traveled adventurers who seek new and exotic goods to sell from faraway places. As such, merchant characters pick up a range of useful skills like trading, appraisal, obtaining rare or unusual goods, persuasion, city lore, knowledge of distant places, guild membership. If you want a strange or unusual item, speak to a merchant first. Merchants need quick minds and a degree of appeal to haggle and barter for their livings. Merchant is not a combat career, so this will almost never be helpful to a character in a fight. Mercenary and minstrel. Mercenary, or a warrior. These are warriors who work for anyone who will pay for their services. They tend to have skill in living rough, cloak riding, intimidation, carousing, and even weapon and armor upkeep and repair. Mercenaries should be strong and agile to be able to ply their trade of war. Mercenaries are notorious for their ability to fight well when well paid, but to fight badly, or not at all, when conned or badly paid. In combat, they might receive a career bonus if the money is particularly good. Minstrel or poet, wandering entertainers. These characters are proficient in pleasing crowds of people and earning a few coins from their singing, playing instruments, poetry and general performance. Some minstrels extend their art to a bit of juggling and possibly other sleight of hand trickery. Because they travel and are great gossips, they learn ancient legends, are good orators, have some knowledge of city and world lore. Minstrels are often big hits with the ladies. Minstrels require appeal as well as agility and quick minds. A minstrel is not generally a combat career, and there are very few circumstances where this career will provide a combat bonus.
Just a moment.
Noble and physician. Noble, or courtier, often holding homes in the city and estates or villas outside the city. These characters are titled and have some authority over the common people, peasants and slaves. Nobles are often able to obtain credit, have high-ranking contacts and are skilled in such things as bribery, browbeating, dress sense and etiquette. Physician, or healer. Physicians are dispensers of potions and medicines and have practical skills in bonneting, surgery and childbirth. They are knowledgeable of plant lore, first aid.
First aid.
First aid and diseases and their cures. They need to be literate. Mind is the most important attribute for a physician character. Nobles need plenty of appeal as well as clever minds, although, at the end of the day, money always talks whatever. In combat, having a career of noble will rarely be of any benefit whatsoever. In combat, the physician's career is not really of particular benefit to a character, although after the fight, they are often most welcome. Pirate and priest. Pirate, or buccaneer, rogues of the sea. Pirates are skilled in climbing, sea lore, navigation by stars, and boat handling with a good knowledge of far ports and islands. Pirates speak their own version of Lemurian, known as sea tongue. Pirates need to be agile and some strength is always handy. Pirates might receive a career bonus in sea actions, especially if there is the promise of a significant haul of booty at the end of it. Priest, or druid. Priests reside in their temples in the major cities of Lemuria. They are knowledgeable in theology, ancient lore, astrology, astronomy, ancient languages and literacy. Their position gives them a special place in the minds of the rest of the populace, and this gives them great power over all aspects of the government, military and the populace in general. They need to have clever minds, and the best ones have plenty of appeal to be able to sway. They need to have clever minds, and the best ones have plenty of appeal to be able to sway their followers. Having the priest career will rarely, if ever, give the character any advantages in combat. The only advantage might be that God-fearing fighters will be loath to attack a priest. Serving wench and scribe. Serving wench, or courtesan. Note Avon is complete without its serving wenches. Their closeness with their customers gives them good skills in seduction, city lore and carousing. Some are even good at taking things from customers without them noticing. It is stating the obvious, but only female characters can choose this as a career. Appeal is the most important attribute for a serving wench. In combat, a career in serving wench is of little, if any use, whatsoever. Scribe, or scholar. Scribes are characters who are interested in ancient law, ancient languages and map-making. Obviously this leads to a certain degree of knowledge in these areas too. Scribes need clear minds to do their laborious work and need to be illiterate. Whilst scribes might have it that the pen is mightier than the sword, there are not actually many circumstances where having a career in scribe will have any discernible use in combat. Sky pilot and slave. Sky pilot, or airman. Pilots are trained to fly the sky boats of the Satolan Sky Navy. They are usually ex-soldiers and often nobles too. Sky pilots are the elite of the fighting men of Satola. They are skilled at navigation, sky boat handling, observation, and are leaders of men. Mind, agility, and to a lesser extent appeal and strength are all handy. Sky pilots in combat will always have the advantage, at least initially, over any fighter unused to combat taking place in the skies. Slave, or thrall. Slavery is not exactly a career of choice. Nevertheless, it does provide the opportunity to pick up a few skills and techniques that other careers do not give, and can be useful in rounding out a character concept. The career gives skill in things like humility, going unnoticed, listening, and sneaking. Slaves that are used for labor need good strength. Female slaves normally find things better, or worse, if they are appealing. Slaves used to run errands often need high agility. Clever slaves are normally considered to be troublemakers. In Zalat, if you are not a priest, alchemist, or a magician, you are a slave. The career is not really of any practical use in a fight though. Soldier and thief. Soldier, or guard. Soldiers are the paid guards in a city or in the standing armies of rich nobles. They will have some city lore, perhaps skills in intimidation and riding, as well as a limited amount of authority, especially the officers. Strength is normally most important for soldiers, although archers and cavalrymen could do with a bit of agility. Thief, or rogue. Thieves and rogues are those who live by less than honest means in the streets of the towns and cities. They will have skill in such things as city law, burglary, sneaking, picking pockets, and are likely to have guild membership. The best thieves are from Malakut. Officers need to have plenty of appeal to lead their men and quick minds to make sound battle plans. Soldiers are not specialists of any sort, but will sometimes gain a career bonus in combat, especially if fighting tactically as a part of a well-led unit. Thieves require agility for their trade, but a quick mind also helps. Thieves need to avoid combat where possible, so will normally only gain a career bonus in combat when trying to get away, and not always then, if against well-trained city guards. 23. Torturer and worker. Torturer, or gaoler, a not terribly pleasant career that provides a character that takes this career. Strong skills in extracting information from reticent individuals, intimidation, a basic awareness of anatomy and first aid, and killing blows with two-handed axes. Torturers are jailers and executioners for the cities of Lemuria. They are not often blessed with a great deal of appeal, but strength is handy for beheadings and both mind and agility for torturing and obtaining information. In combat, executioners are not subtle, so skilled fighters will rarely fall to their combat style, unless prone and helpless. Worker, or laborer. Workers are unskilled laborers, men who erect palisades or dig ditches, build homes, city walls and temples, or load and unload wagons and riverboats. Laborers often move around doing a range of odd jobs here and there, many of which are seasonal or temporary, so we'll know something about a lot of these things. Some of the tasks carried out by laborers are also the work of slaves. Workers tend to find a high strength very useful in their physical endeavors. Agility can also be useful. Workers are not really combatants, although they do tend to settle their disputes with their fists, and they might, therefore, receive a bonus during a brawl.